While taking the two of them around, Lin Qiuhan told them about her little brother Lin Tian, who was called a useless brother. Gu Changge asked her, "Why do they say that about him?" Lin Qiuhan said that this is generally recognized by everyone. Lin Tian has no good cultivation talent and his family background is not good. Although she wants to defend him, there is still not much she can do in the end. Gu Changge then acted as if he pitied Lin Tian, but he was lucky to have a smart and caring older sister who protected him. Hearing that, Lin Qiuhan stammered, saying that Lin Tian was actually very reasonable. Only recently had he started concentrating on his cultivation. Gu Changge was suspicious about Lin Tian's behavior, who recently started to focus on cultivation. A useless young man who changed overnight. He suspected that someone strong had snatched his body or he went back in time. Lin Qiuhan said that his stagnant cultivation base was finally broken through. He also showed extraordinary talent in alchemy. He even showed the mistakes of the elders once. Gu Changge then said, "The fact that he can change shows that his persuasion is useful. He is aware that his elder sister sympathizes with him, although she is very hard on him. But she only wants the best for him." Lin Qiuhan was a little surprised to hear his words. She smiled slightly and thought, is he comforting her? She did not expect the young master to understand her so well. Even Lin Tian himself did not understand her, even thought that she had been too hard on him. Gu Changge then said, "It's certainly a good thing that Lin Tian's attitude can be changed. Maybe he's a pearl that hasn't shown yet. Moreover, in just a few days, he was able to point out the elders' mistakes. He might be very talented." But Lin Qiuhan still thought that Lin Tian wasn't that talented, when he couldn't even break through to the Spirit Sea realm. Gu Changge then asked her, if he hadn't even broken through to the Spirit Sea realm, then how could he refine the pills? Hearing Gu Changge's words, Lin Qiuhan finally realized an irregularity. Gu Changge thought that Lin Qiuhan seemed to have begun to be suspicious of Lin Tian's changes. He felt that harvesting the new fortune chosen would be easier than he imagined. The system rang, the fortune chosen completion rules. Killing a fortune chosen with 0 fortune value would get an additional heavenly reward from the system. Gu Changge was a little surprised to hear that, and found it interesting. He had to put Yi Chen aside for the time being, since he was still his treasure hunting rat. He felt like Lin Tian would be harvested first. At night, Lin Tian knocked on the door of Gu Changge's residence, and said that she made him a spiritual cake, so he would have something to eat if he felt hungry at night. But it was not Gu Changge but Su Qingji who opened the door. Su Qingji thanked her for taking the trouble to make him a late-night snack. On behalf of Gu Changge, she thanked him, although Lin Qiuhan was a little sorry, because it wasn't Gu Changge, but she still politely thanked her, not wanting to disturb Gu Changge's rest. She then left. Seeing her leave, Su Qingji felt that Lin Qiuhan seemed to be in love with Gu Changge, even though it was their first time meeting. Gu Changge then surprisingly came up behind her and asked if she was jealous. Su Qingji blushed at that, and said that he was too far-fetched. She knew that it was difficult to interest him, so it didn't matter whether she was jealous or not. She then told him, if he was interested, he was free to bring Lin Qiuhan to his side. Hearing that, Gu Changge just smiled about Su Qingji not being able to act honestly. On his way back to her residence, Lin Qiuhan was suddenly intercepted by Lin Tian. She asked him why he was here. Lin Tian then asked her, where did she end up this late at night? Did she end up meeting with young Master Gu? Lin Qiuhan was silent for a moment hearing that, and told him not to interfere in her business, and told him to just cultivate properly. Lin Tian suddenly held her hand. While calling her name, he told her that Gu Changge was not a good person, and told her not to be fooled by his looks. Hearing that, Lin Qiuhan then snapped at him. She felt that Gu Changge was humble, polite and warm-hearted. How could he not be a good person? If Lin Tian had even a small part of Gu Changge's attitude, she didn't have to worry too much about him. Lin Tian then said, why is she so stupid? Lin Qiuhan was a little surprised by his little brother's behavior. She then asked him about his strange attitude lately, and said even if young Master Gu is not a good person, what bad intentions can he have towards her? She told him to better reflect on himself first. Lin Tian was speechless after hearing Lin Qiuhan's words. Lin Qiuhan then thought irritably, since Lin Tian's cultivation became stronger, his temperament also increased. She even forgot to ask where he learned alchemy from. In the past, he wouldn't even lift a finger when she told him to cultivate, but now, he had disappeared for a while. She wondered if there might be a master who taught him. Or perhaps, Lin Qiuhan finally noticed an irregularity once again, but when she looked back, she saw Lin Tian who had already left. The system rang. Lin Qiuhan had doubts about the sudden change of Lin Tian's attitude. Lin Tian's fortune value decreased by 50 and the host's fate value increased by 250. Gu Changge felt happy after hearing that, and thought that everything was going according to what he had planned. He felt that Lin Tian wouldn't stand it anymore and would attack him. In a forest near the Lin family residence, Lin Tian actually wanted to wait for an opportunity to get close to Gu Changge before dealing with Gu Changge, but he insisted on interfering in his body's affairs with Lin Xuanhuan. He was really annoyed with his body's obsession, because it really disturbed his mind, and said, since Gu Changge really wanted to die, then he would grant it. He then used 99 ecstasy incense soaked in 8 kinds of poisonous blood essence, plus 3 kinds of beast bone wax by sacrificing his 15 years of life, and said, by borrowing the power of heaven and earth, take his life and erase his soul. He then activated a demonic curse called Heavenly Demon Outlaw Curse. Frightening evil spirits then emerged from the demonic curse he had drawn. The evil spirits then darted towards a place. Lin Tian looked exhausted after doing so, and felt that the current him still had difficulty putting down such a demonic curse. After all, by sacrificing 15 years of his life, he felt that even if Gu Changge could survive with luck, he would end up being an idiot. With a horrible smile, he then said, this is the result of daring to touch the God King Slayer's possessions. Gu Changge could feel the evil spirits approaching towards him. Everything happened as he expected. Based on the familiar demonic aura, he guessed that this came from the Heavenly Demon Outlaw Curse. He was curious, with Lin Tian's current cultivation base, how strong a curse could he unleash? He then created a giant demon-like figure on top of him. With a smile, he likened using the demonic technique on him to smashing a rock with an egg. The evil spirit figure produced by the demonic curse was similar to a skull with horns. The evil spirit then quickly attacked towards the giant demon, until finally their attacks clashed. But what was surprising was that the giant demon could easily destroy the core of the evil spirit, which made Lin Tian get a backlash. Old Ming and the Lin family members were shocked when they saw the attack. In a small hut, Lin Tian was currently lying on the floor while spewing blood. He couldn't believe that his attack had been reversed. Gu Changge didn't expect that a demonic curse of this level could actually make his primordial spirit flourish, and even increase his lifespan. He then condensed some kind of pill from the absorption of the demonic curse. The system rang. Lin Tian's lifespan was drastically reduced. His fortune value was reduced by 150. The host's fate value was increased by 750. While swallowing the pill he had condensed, Gu Changge thought that he hadn't even done anything. But Lin Tian had given him an extraordinary reward. Gu Changge felt that this new fortune chosen was really good at screwing himself up. He was a little surprised when he saw the arrival of Old Ming and the Lin family members. Old Ming apologized for failing to protect him properly, and begged that he be punished properly. Gu Changge then came out and asked the purpose of their arrival. They simultaneously apologized for being negligent in overseeing the situation. Gu Changge then came from behind and asked him if he was alright. Gu Changge said that he was fine. Such a lowly curse wouldn't hurt him, but he said that he wanted to know who could cast such a curse in the lower realms. Old Ming then said, when the curse is destroyed, then the person who sent it must be affected. The head of the Lin family then promised that they would mobilize the entire army to investigate and find the culprit. With a happy smile, Gu Changge thought that Lin Tian might now be weaker than ordinary people. At Lin Tian's residence, he was surprised to hear Lin Xuanhuan knocking on the door and telling him to come out. Because there was a big event tonight, she said that the head of the family called all the family members to discuss it. Lin Tian was very worried about the situation that had happened to him. At this time he was not even able to walk properly, because his origin had been injured. If they saw his condition, then everyone would know that he was the one responsible for the curse. He then thought, whether he was the God King Slayer would end up here. Seeing no response from Lin Tian, Lin Xuanhuan then told him to quickly open the door. If he still wouldn't answer, she would enter by force. Lin Tian suddenly got the idea to fake his death. He thought that since the beginning Lin Tian's body already belonged to him, as long as his heart stopped beating, then he would lose his vitality, and the cultivators under the Divine King realm would not be able to realize it. He just needed to wait until this matter was over. After that he would rise again by using the Forbidden Soul art. Then he could hide without others noticing. He felt that this was a good idea and said that he would avenge Gu Changge another day. He then stabbed his own heart. And when Lin Xuanhuan went inside, how shocked she was to see Lin Tian already lying lifeless. The next day, Old Ming once again apologized to him and was willing to accept the punishment. Gu Changge then asked, have they found the culprit? Old Ming anxiously said that they have found the culprit, but the Lin family members can also only be silent at this time. Seeing their silence, Gu Changge then asked, what's wrong? The head of the Lin family respectfully told him that the culprit was a child of the Lin family named Lin Tian. He was among the less favored juniors. He stammered on, but when they found him, he was already dead and his body was lying in a pool of blood. Gu Changge naturally doubted Lin Tian's death. The Lin family patriarch then knelt down to apologize, and begged Gu Changge to punish him. The other Lin family members also immediately knelt down and took the initiative to beg Gu Changge to punish them. Gu Changge thought, after all, Lin Tian was still a fortune chosen. Gu Changge was confused why he tried to kill himself before killing villains like him. Besides that, he also did not get a notification from the system regarding Lin Tian's death, which means Lin Tian must still be alive. He wondered if Lin Tian tried to fake his death. But with his remaining soul, he wouldn't be able to withstand the shaking wind between heaven and earth after leaving Lin Tian's body. Gu Changge smiled. Where would he run to? The Lin family patriarch was worried by Gu Changge's lack of response. One of the Lin family members cursed Lin Tian for putting them in this situation. His friend retorted, Lin Tian is indeed useless. If young Master Gu blames them for this problem, then the entire Lin family will also suffer the consequences. Hearing that, Lin Xuanhuan sadly thought. Before she thought Lin Tian had changed, but why did he suddenly do such evil deeds without caring for his family like this? The Lin family patriarch also blamed Lin Tian, because he could have destroyed the Lin family with this. The soul suddenly appeared behind Gu Changge and said to her, this is what power looks like. Gu Changge hadn't even done anything yet, but the entire Lin family had already fallen into fear and anxiety because of Lin Tian's problem. The system rang. Lin Tian had been exiled by his entire family, his fortune value reduced by 100 and the host's fate value increased by 500. Gu Changge was surprised by that. He didn't expect that Lin Tian's actions had given him so much fate value. With a faint smile, he thought that it was good. Now Lin Tian didn't have much fortune value left, and the only possibility left of him was his bond with Lin Xuanhuan. Old Ming once again took the initiative to beg Gu Changge to punish him. Lin Tian had already committed an insolent act even though he was his descendant. Old Ming said that he had no face-to-face with him. Gu Changge then told Old Ming to stop talking and said that there was something strange here. He continued, Lin Xuanhuan had already told him about Lin Tian. It was unreasonable for a loser like him to do something like trying to kill him. In the upper realm, it was not uncommon to find people who used secret techniques to take over a person's soul and control his body, although Lin Tian was the one who tried to kill him. But he did not think the Lin family had anything to do with it. Gu Changge then said that he was not an unreasonable person. For the sake of Old Ming who had followed him for many years, he would let this matter pass. The Lin family members were very happy after hearing Gu Changge's words, and immediately thanked him. Old Ming said that he would definitely look into the matter and give him an explanation. Gu Changge then invited them all to leave. He also said that Lin Tian's body should not be cremated. They all understood. Gu Changge irritably thought, in the end, this fortune chosen still can't be reaped, and he still has to wait for him to be resurrected. And when all the Lin family members were about to leave, Gu Changge suddenly called Lin Xuanhuan. He said that he was bored now, and asked her if she could take him for a walk around the city tomorrow. Lin Xuanhuan naturally wouldn't refuse Gu Changge's request. She said she would always do what he asked. While looking at Lin Xuanhuan's fortune value, Gu Changge thought, previously the system had mentioned that if a woman who had a relationship with a fortune chosen voluntarily surrendered herself to him, then he would gain fate value because of it. With Lin Xuanhuan's fortune value of only 200, he felt that it shouldn't be difficult to make Lin Xuanhuan fall in love with him. He wondered if she would be like Gu Changge, where his fortune value increased gradually along with her, or maybe it was a special characteristic of Gu Changge. In any case, he should keep Lin Xuanhuan by his side for a while. 3 days later, Zhongzhou residents were surprised by the arrival of people from the 8 regions, and asked why they came here. One of the residents then said that the Lin family ancestors returned with a mysterious young master who was said to be from the upper realm. Whoever could establish a good relationship with him would definitely become a big man in the 8 regions. Even the Taoism conference venue for Zhongzhou youth was also changed to the ancient city of Chongyue, the city where Lin's family was located. He also heard that many masters who had been in seclusion for a long time came out of hiding, just to meet the young master. In a towering pavilion, there were many young men and women gathering with their friends. One of the young men then praised a person named Jin Yang because his cultivation had improved quite a lot after they hadn't met for some time. Jin Yang tried to be humble, and instead praised the young man named Zhen Tian for successfully mastering a sacred technique not long ago. Zhen Tian said that he was just lucky, he could not compare to their achievements. He then asked Jin Yang, because he heard not long ago he often fought with a young martial artist from Donghuang, but could not win even after issuing hundreds of blows, because of the respect between each other, until finally the two of them decided to become brothers. Jin Yang confirmed this, and proudly told them that his brother's talent could only be found once in 1,000 years. Even with cultivation in the Soul Palace realm, he was able to exchange hundreds of blows with him without losing a single blow, and even forced him to bring out his true son physique to win. They felt shocked when they heard that, and wondered if such a great person really existed. Jin Yang then continued, his younger brother with his extraordinary talent, someday he must be destined to do something great. It's a pity that he had to clash with an important man and was framed. Inevitably he had to flee to Zhangzhou. Hearing Jin Yang's words, one of the young men then asked him, is the person he's referring to the one who caused an uproar not long ago? He heard that he couldn't get the things he wanted. Then he became jealous of the important man, but Jin Yang suddenly pounded the table and told him to cut the crap. He said that it was obvious that his little brother was the one who was betrayed by that woman who wanted to gain influence by relying on that man, plus she even spread bad rumors about him. Hearing that, one of the girls was incredulous. Her friend then told her that Jin Yang was an honest person, so he couldn't be lying. Zhen Tian then asked Jin Yang about the name of the little brother he was referring to, in case they could become friends after he met him one day, but before Jin Yang could tell them, they were immediately surprised by the arrival of Gu Changge and others. They were in disbelief when they saw that they were greeted directly by the illustrious Lin family elders in this area. Zhen Tian then looked at Lin Xuanhuan, the proud daughter of the Lin family. He heard that she had become an influential person in the Taoism Academy at a young age, and the other woman seemed to be the holy maiden of the Taixuan holy land of the eastern wilderness. He then realized who the man was there. They were very surprised when they learned this fact. One of the young men did not expect to meet Gu Changge here. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He said that he had to greet her properly. Seeing Gu Changge's arrival, Jin Yang, instead of feeling happy, he felt anxious, and wondered why he could meet him here. Su Qingji was amazed when she saw the view from the top of the pavilion. Gu Changge then said, this terrace overlooks the masses, while I reign over the 9 heavens. He felt that the person who made this pavilion must be someone who knows how to enjoy life. Lin Xuanhuan was confused by Gu Changge's words, and asked him what he thought cultivation was. Gu Changge explained, this so-called cultivation is merely a struggle between heaven and earth. Imagine that the mortal body is like a raft and the mortal realm is like the ocean. The small and fragile raft must wade through the vast ocean to reach the land on the other side. Su Qingji looked thoughtful when she heard his explanation. Lin Xuanhuan praised Gu Changge for his great understanding of cultivation. He had widened her view with just 2 sentences. She felt that the upper realm cultivation world must be an unimaginable place. Gu Changge then asked if she wanted to see it. Lin Xuanhuan was surprised to hear that. She then said that she wouldn't dare to ask for such a thing. After all, what Lin Tian did back then was an unforgivable crime, even though he had warned her that day. Gu Changge told her not to blame herself. That day he spoke without thinking about the consequences. Even he didn't know things would turn out like this. If she really still felt guilty, there was something she could do for him. Lin Xuanhuan immediately asked him to tell her what it was. Gu Changge then told her to keep a close eye on the body of his little brother Lin Tian. From what he had seen so far, not only was his consciousness being controlled, he was afraid that his body had also been taken. There are countless secret techniques in the upper realm. It's not impossible for someone to be resurrected after death. Lin Xuanhuan was very surprised when he heard that, and wondered if such a technique really existed. When she found Lin Tian, his heart was no longer beating, so it was certain that he was dead. She anxiously thought, if the young master's words were true, did Lin Tian fake his death? Gu Changge then said that it was all just his guess. He calmed her down. Everything would be fine if she kept an eye on the body. He thought, if Lin Xuanhuan saw Lin Tian resurrected with her own eyes, then their relationship would be over. When Lin Tian was done playing with his little tricks, he would no longer have much fortune value left. With a cruel smile, Gu Changge then thought, then there was no point in letting him live. An old servant then came and reported to him that there were some young men from the 8 regions who came to greet him. Gu Changge then told him to let them in. After a while, many young men came to greet him respectfully. Gu Changge told them not to be too formal. Worship the sacred moon saint, Yi Yo, said that he had long wanted to meet him. He praised him for looking like an extraordinary person as rumored. They also said, it was an honor for Zhangzhou city to have him here. Lin Xuanhuan was surprised to see that the arrogant gentleman who had always prided himself as a holy son, had this side too. Even lady and holy maiden who considered themselves better than others discarded that trait, and tried to please the young master. She was impressed by Gu Changge's attitude, because even after their efforts, he was not impressed at all. After thinking about it, the way he treated her was different from those people. The young master was a man of great strength and power, but he treated her with care and gentleness. She felt very happy that young Master Gu was so kind to her. The system rang. A fortune quest has been triggered. It has successfully subdued Lin Xuanhuan. The host's fortune value increased by 200, and his fate value increased by 1000. Gu Changge was very happy to hear that, because the reward did not disappoint him. After subduing Su Qingji and Lin Xuanhuan, His fortune value rose to more than 300, his current cultivation if in the lower realm can already be said to be very high, so he can save his fate value for emergencies. For now it is not a problem to train Lin Qiuhan a little. After all, he did detect traces of alchemy in the cake she made for him. He then bought the beginner alchemy manual in the system shop. For 100 fate value, he will look for opportunities to give this item to her, but how far she can progress, it all depends on her talent. The system rang. The system detected someone related to the fortune chosen. A sudden quest was triggered. Quest content: suppress the fortune chosen swan brother. Quest reward: over 500 fate value. Gu Changge was a little surprised by that, since Lin Tian was already dead. He wondered if this quest was triggered by Yi Chen. Gu Changge thought it was natural for the fortune chosen to befriend one or two powerful forces from other regions while escaping. Since this was a sudden quest, it was likely that the target of this quest was gathered by these people. He then called out to Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan then respectfully responded to his call. Gu Changge asked, was there any news about Yi Chen and Zhongzhou? Upon the question from Gu Changge, Xuanhuan could only scratch his head because he also did not know about it. Su Qingji also looked a little surprised about Gu Changge suddenly asking about Yi Chen. Gu Changge then asked Xuanhuan, does that mean he has lost track of him? Xuanhuan felt so panicked at this time that it made his sweat profusely. The people there were confused about who Yi Chen was, because they saw that Gu Changge looked unhappy when he mentioned it. Jin Yang could only be silent at this time. Yi Yo then said that he seemed to have heard Yi Chen's name, and after remembering he then realized it, and immediately looked at Jin Yang. Jin Yang, who saw it, felt confused and panicked. Yi Yo then said to Gu Changge, if he heard that Jialu's sacred land holy son Jin Yang recently met a martial artist from the eastern wilderness, could it be Yi Chen he was referring to? Jin Yang immediately felt frightened, and thinking that this was bad, he cursed Yi Yo for it. Hearing that, Gu Changge then tapped the back of the chair with his finger. He then asked Jin Yang about the name of the martial artist he met. They then whispered, isn't that holy son Jin Yang? Why does he have a relationship with Yi Chen? Jin Yang, who can only be silent at this time, seeing Jin Yang who does not want to talk, Gu Changge thinks that the person he knows is the person he is looking for. Jin Yang then dodges and says to him, he thinks he has mistaken the wrong person. Gu Changge then released his aura towards him. He told Jin Yang to answer his question right or wrong. They were surprised by Gu Changge's extraordinary strength. Yi Yo said that he had never received this much mental pressure before, even from the Sacred Lord. He anxiously thought, if he was too hasty to get face in front of Gu Changge, it could be bad if Jin Yang brought his name. Jin Yang then respectfully said that he did have a sworn brother named Yi Chen. Gu Changge then asked where he was now. Jin Yang was silent for a moment, then apologized, because he could not reveal his whereabouts. Yi Yo then snapped at him, is he crazy? He respectfully told Gu Changge that Jin Yang must have been fooled by Yi Chen. Normally, he would never do such a stupid thing. Jin Yang immediately told him to shut up. Yi Chen is his sworn brother, so he already knows his character well. He then asked Gu Changge, is it possible that he has some misunderstanding with his sworn brother? Gu Changge then stood up and said, he should be honored that he had bothered to ask him. Gu Changge now looked very angry. He continued, whether it was a misunderstanding or not, how dare he ask him back? Before Jin Yang could reply, he suddenly vomited a mouthful of blood, and fell to his knees. They were shocked when they saw that. The guard then worriedly went to him. The guard begged Gu Changge to forgive Jin Yang for his stupid behavior. Seeing that, Gu Changge then asked Old Ming to appear. Old Ming then surprisingly appeared nearby. They were all shocked by Old Ming's sudden appearance and asked if he was the Lin family ancestor who had ascended to the upper realm 30,000 years ago. They did not expect that he was serving Gu Changge. Gu Changge then told him that he didn't want to hear that the Jialu sacred ground still existed tomorrow. Old Ming understood, and he then retreated. The guard felt very desperate at this time, and felt that everything was over. Lin Qiuhan was shocked. With just a few sentences, Gu Changge could decide the fate of a sacred land. Such indifference, as if he were a supreme being reigning over the 9 heavens. She wondered if this was Gu Changge's true nature. The system rang. The sudden quest had been successfully completed with perfect execution. An additional 40% fate value would be awarded. The total fate value awarded was 700. In Jialu sacred land, they were all shocked by what they saw, and confused by who their enemy was that could bring this much destruction. Heaven willed the destruction of Jialu sacred land. An enormous palm was seen heading towards the Jialu sacred land from the sky. In a secluded place, Yi Chen suddenly shouted the name of Jin Yang. While crying he thought, in the end, everything he feared came true. Looking at the green coin that had been split into two in his hand, he promised to definitely kill Gu Changge. The master then appeared because he was worried about his situation. Yi Chen asked his master to stop trying to persuade him to kill Gu Changge again. Angrily he said, "The secret ancient Xuanhuan realm will be opened. He must get the inheritance of the hidden realm master and get the demonic weapon that has been sealed since a long time ago." While Yi Chen was thinking of killing him, Gu Changge himself was currently seen hanging out with Lin Xuanhuan and Su Qingji. He then asked Lin Xuanhuan about her being very quiet since they returned from plucking Star Pavilion. Had she scared him? Lin Xuanhuan blushed when Gu Changge stroked the back of his head, while Su Qingji looked annoyed at that. Lin Xuanhuan said that she was a little scared, probably because she had never seen him act like that, but she understood that he had treated her well. Hearing that Gu Changge apologized for his carelessness, he then took out the beginner alchemy manual, and as a sign of apology he gave it to her. Lin Xuanhuan was surprised and immediately thanked him, because this is what she needs now. Su Qingji looked cranky at this time, and told him that he had also scared her, but she felt annoyed when she saw Gu Changge who seemed to not care about her. 3 days later, there were several patriarchs of the big families who visited to see Gu Changge, but unfortunately they couldn't see him. They then asked the Lin family patriarch to say good things to Gu Changge about them. The Lin family patriarch then politely accepted the request. Lin Xuanhuan was very happy when she saw that Gu Changge was cold to the others. Even so, he helped the Lin family regain its reputation. But she then looked sad, seeing Gu Changge's reaction when there were people who were hostile to him. As he said, maybe Lin Tian was no longer the Lin Tian she knew, because how could he forgive the Lin family when one of their family members committed such a serious offense? Ye felt sorry for poor Lin Tian's fate. In the Lin family prison, when Lin Tian who was seen lying there lifelessly, his hands suddenly moved, he then suddenly seemed to be able to sit up.